Hi, I'm Lonnie Ward. Over the past 15 years, I've worked in countries battling extreme poverty, meeting incredible people, and learning life-changing lessons. Now, I'm here to share their stories and a few of my own with you. I can't wait to take you along. Engines roared as we broke through the cloud line above the Himalayas. Even in late April, the mountains were still crowned with snow, their white peaks glistening in the sunlight. They rose majestically above the valley, timeless guardians of the land. Nestled in their shadow lay Kathmandu, spread across the valley floor. Once on the ground, it didn't take long for me to feel right at home. The people of Nepal immediately struck me as warm, generous, and kind. At the airport, I was greeted by Pratik from the Choice Humanitarian staff. He welcomed me with a traditional scarf and guided me to the office. He had been interviewing to become the next director of Choice Humanitarian in Nepal. And though he admitted feeling overwhelmed, his sincerity and dedication were unmistakable. As we drove through the city streets, I was struck by the contrasts. Some roads were wide, bustling with lanes of traffic, while others were so narrow, only one car could pass at a time. The streets teemed not just with cars and motorbikes, but with people and animals. Cows wandering casually through the chaos, completely at home amid the bustle. It was an eye-opening experience, a living portrait of Nepal's unique culture. Nepal itself is a land of striking contrasts. It holds the highest point on the earth, the summit of Mount Everest, at 29,032 feet above sea level. Yet parts of the country descend to less than 200 feet above sea level, where tropical jungles flourish. In a span of just 120 miles, the land rises and falls nearly 29,000 feet, a staggering range that reflects the extremes of both its geography and its society. One of those societal contrasts is the caste system, a rigid structure that dictates a person's social standing, livelihood, and opportunities from birth. This system has long limited mobility, with upper castes resisting change and lower castes often unable to envision alternatives for themselves. It was here, in the midst of such barriers, that I witnessed one of the most inspiring stories of transformation I've ever encountered. Her name was Radhika Pariyar. Born into the Dalit caste, the lowest rung of Nepal's social hierarchy, she grew up in extreme poverty. By 9th grade, her family could no longer afford her schooling. At just 15, she was married off, more a matter of survival for her family than choice for her. Life was brutally hard. She and her husband Rajendra lived in the modest 3-room shack of her in-laws with them. When opportunities at home were scarce, Rajendra left for Saudi Arabia to work. Like many, he paid exorbitant fees to a manpower company, only to be exploited. He returned with nothing after the company collapsed, leaving the family in debt and despair. They struggled on, had 3 children, and in time, Rajendra tried again to work abroad. This time, tragedy struck. Radhika received word that he had died suddenly in his sleep. She was pregnant with their 4th child. Soon after the baby's birth, her father-in-law forced her and the children out of the house. Homeless, with 4 young daughters, she considered giving up entirely. But when she looked at her children, she resolved to keep living for them. A kind man offered her shelter in an abandoned house. There, she first heard of Choice Humanitarian. They instilled in her, and in many others, the realization that they did not have to be bound by the limitations of caste or tradition. The training encouraged them to reach above social norms, to envision lives and opportunities once considered unattainable. Through their programs, she discovered the possibility of starting a small business. She chose to raise chickens. With training and a small loan of about $400, she began her venture. Within 6 months, she had repaid her loan in full. Her business grew. She fed and clothed her children, enrolled them in school, and began to see a future she had once thought impossible. Her progress lit a fire within her. She began encouraging others, sharing her story, inspiring neighbors to believe they too could change their lives. In 2017, elections were held for the first time in many years, and to her astonishment, Radhika was elected to the Rural Municipal Council. A Dalit woman, once impoverished and marginalized, now held a leadership role in her community. It was almost unthinkable in a society where leadership rarely comes from women and never from Dalits. Her transformation did not end there. Recognized for her influence, she was invited to participate in additional leadership training. With each step, she gained confidence and skills she had never imagined for herself. When asked about her journey, Radhika explained it simply. People often say that others, or the government, should come and help them out of poverty. Now I realize that doesn't work. It's not handouts, but hands-on that changed my life. Her words struck me deeply. She had broken through the barriers of caste and gender, not by waiting for rescue, but by seizing opportunity, working tirelessly, and choosing hope. She showed that resilience and determination could overcome even the steepest obstacles. As I reflected on her story, I thought again of the mountains I had seen flying into Nepal, towering, daunting, seemingly insurmountable. But like Everest itself, challenges can be faced one step at a time. With effort, perseverance, and the courage to rise again after each setback, we too can reach our own summits, just as Radhika had, just as we all can. Thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who'd love these stories too. To learn more or connect with me, visit lonnieward.com. Until next time, be the change.